Thank you for joining me in this video covering the Edit Points button. You will not need your tablet or total station for this video, as I will only be presenting information about how the tool works. The Edit Points button can be found within all 5 of the principal applications, in the same place within each application, and unlike the toolbox, it functions the same way from within any application. For the purposes of this video, we'll use the Layout Points application to access it, and will stay there since it's the same for all of them. It's in the lower middle part of the screen, next to the Total Station Setup button. After clicking it, the first screen we're taken to allows us to choose what data we want to search for points in. You can unselect files by clicking them. The ones that are blue are the files you will be searching in. I always leave them all selected. At this point, if I click the green check, I'll be shown every point that exists in all of those files. But we can be more specific to narrow the search. Let's go back one screen by clicking the button in the upper left corner. This time I'll click the magnifying glass with ID in the middle at the bottom of the screen. This screen allows me to search by specific methods. Map selection is by far the easiest and fastest method, and the one I always use. To perform a map selection, click on the Define button. This returns us to the map view and allows us to choose an area on the map as the prompt is telling us in the upper right corner of the screen. To define an area, tap once for one corner, and then tap again on the other side of the points you wish to select. Notice that it draws a square around your points. If you continue tapping, it will change the shape depending on where you tap. If you want to reset it so you can start tapping again, click the eraser at the bottom of the screen and then start tapping again. Once you're satisfied with your selection area, click the green check. You will be returned to the previous screen where you must click the green check again to be taken to the point list containing the points you selected. This point list gives you all the information regarding those points. By clicking the arrows at the top, you can change pages and see more information related to the points. Most of this information will be covered in an upcoming video regarding survey fundamentals. Let's go back one screen by clicking the button in the upper left corner and then the magnifying glass. Your other options for searching for points are displayed here. They should be intuitive. For example, if you know the ID of a specific point, you can type it into Point ID. If your point falls between a certain range of points, you can fill in the Point ID range. You can choose your preferred method for searching for points, but again, for me it's just easier to define a box on the map around the points I'm looking for. Let's return to the point list screen by clicking the green check because our defined area still exists. Now I want to show you the two buttons at the bottom of the screen. The one to the right that looks like a book allows you to flip through the pages if you have too many points selected to display in one screen. The same can be achieved by swiping with your finger. The toolbox allows you several options of actions that you can take on the points you have selected. Since I don't have any points selected, some of the options in the box are grayed out. I'll select the first point on my list and then go back to the toolbox. Notice now that all the options are lit up. If all the options are not lit up, it is because the point you selected belongs to a CSV file that was imported. You cannot edit or delete points that belong to CSV files. If I click New now, it will allow me to create a brand new point. Notice that it autofills the first 4 rows. This is handy if you need to create a new point in the same location for some reason. You can edit those rows and move the point geographically using the selected point as a starting point if you choose. If you've highlighted a point that is editable, then click Edit in the toolbox. You'll be taken to a screen that allows you to edit that point. If it is a point that you stored while laying out, you can edit everything, including the prism type used when storing the point. This is very useful if you've been laying out points with the wrong prism type selected accidentally and realize it after you've stored multiple points. By clicking the prism type, you can choose the appropriate one. This not only changes the prism, it updates the point coordinates and corrects your errors mathematically. Delete will delete the selected points. Search will send you back to the search method screen. Clear search will clear your search criteria and show you every point available in the files. Stakeout list allows you to choose certain points and create a list to lay out. This is useful if you only wish to lay out specific points in an area and want to know how many you have left or when you've laid them all out. This program is rarely used by MEP trades, but should you want further explanation, you can call me or try it on your own. You will not affect your files by creating stakeout lists, and they can be deleted after creation. Finally, a very important tool in the toolbox is export. You do not have to highlight any points blue in order to export from this point list. By clicking export, the software is going to export all the points you have on your list anyways. I use the map selection method to select points for this reason. I only want to export the points I'm concerned with, and map selection allows me to choose those points specifically. By clicking export from the toolbox, I'm taken to the screen that allows me to choose the target location where the point will be saved and the file format they will be saved in. Leave the target area as is. The format to select is CSV, which is the same format the CAD techs are sending you points in. Before choosing CSV, always click the arrow to the right to ensure that your settings are correct. The coordinate order should always be in EZ, and the field separator should always be a comma. Once satisfied that your settings are correct, click the green check. We're taken back to the previous screen, and now CSV is highlighted blue. Click the green check to be taken to the screen that allows you to give the file a distinguishable name. The default name contains the date but does not describe what the points you are sending are. I typically rename the file to something related to the points. For example, Level 5 completed deck. This would be in the case of sending all my stored points for a deck that I laid out for quality control purposes. After renaming the file, click the green check. On your normal tablet, this would complete the file export. You can navigate to the data folder on your tablet's file explorer and see the file. Attach the file to an email and send it back to your CAD tech. They can import your points to the original CAD drawing and generate as-built reports or perform quality control checks with this information. This is very useful when you find yourself in a situation where the GC is saying something was laid out incorrectly. This is your digital record of the work you performed, and your safety net should you run into problems. Even if you don't need to send the points right away, I typically always export my points and paste them into a folder within the data folder after completing each floor. Name the folder so that you will know it contains your digital records and keep them there. If your software crashes and your files get wiped out, you will lose all stored points. You can always reload your DXFs and CSVs, but you can never restore your stored points if you don't back them up. If your software crashes, your data folder will always remain safe. This concludes the video on Edit Points function. Please join me in the following video covering view controls.